Hey, so have you ever looked down at your foot and you thought to yourself, how am I actually moving through the world? Well, luckily for you, I have the answer for that. It is called gait. Now, gait is essentially what happens when your body is moving through the world. It's a descriptor of not only your feet, but your ankles, your knees, everything essentially pertains to your gait. So today we're going to be talking briefly about your gait and how it relates to your whole body movement when it comes to your walking. Now, this is the second video in our 5 basic human movement series. I really appreciate if you at the end of this video feel free to just click the like or ask any questions that you might have and leave them down in the comment section. But first, let's get into it. So your foot, it has 26 bones in it, believe it or not. And those bones are very important because those bones are actually attached to other bones by the 100+ ligaments that are in your foot. And that means that's a lot of connections. So that means that it's very important that you have those connections hardwired up into your brain, right? So a lot of people, unfortunately, because they spend a lot of their time sitting or whatnot, they don't have that awareness in their foot. So one thing that I recommend to all my clients first when they're learning how to work on their balance, or actually when they first just come in, we do this as a protocol. You have them stand on one foot. So one thing you can do is called a single leg stand. This is something that you can do pretty much anywhere. You can do it when you're washing your dishes. You can do it when you're cleaning the house. I wouldn't suggest you do it while you're cutting vegetables or anything like that. Yeah, keep yourself safe, right? Now, one thing that you want to remember, like I said, there's 26 bones in the foot, 100 ligaments. They're very important to have those connections. That foot is your first contact on the ground, all right? That is your first contact with the earth. And so you want to make sure that when you're landing on the ground, you're landing properly. Like I said, gait is how your body is moving. It's not necessarily just how you stand. So when you walk, well, your gait should be heel directly underneath your knee. Okay. A lot of people, they have their, well, I wish I had a skeleton, but we'll put it. I'll put it somewhere in the or the post edit. So people, when they walk, a lot of times they'll have their heel out in front of their patella, way far out in front of the patella. So what that means is that they're going to be heel striking, and they're not going to be absorbing any of that pressure. Like I said, the foot is a shock absorber. It's their first point of contact with the earth. So if your first point of contact is a bone into the ground, well, you don't have anything that's absorbing that shock. So what you want to do when you're landing, you want to make sure that you have that foot, that heel directly underneath that ankle, and you want to have that foot, when it lands, probably just slightly in front of your patella, aka your kneecap. That way you can push down on that heel. You can push through the forefoot and then push off the ball of the foot, and that'll propel you forward. That's essentially how the gait works. So when you're rolling that foot, kind of just rolling that foot through, you're actually engaging your whole foot. Not only is it the heel, but it's the midfoot, and you are pushing off with those toes. That's why I said it's so important for those 26 bones and 100 ligaments to be working together. So that's essentially how gait works. You just essentially want to make sure that you're upright while you're walking. You know, you don't want to be forward, you don't want to be leaning backward, you don't want to be pulling too much torsion in your lower back or your hips. And again, you want to make sure that heel is landing almost underneath that knee, maybe just a little bit further in front of the knee, so you can push or roll off that heel, roll off the ball of the foot, and roll onto those toes. So yeah, you can try that exercise out. Just a single leg stand, 1 foot off the ground, is very, very beneficial for you. Another exercise I have my clients do is a single leg bend over. That's just 1 step above that single leg stand. Essentially, took 1 foot off the ground, reach both hands down to the floor. Another exercise you can do or try out is a calf raise. You can do it with 2 feet, or if you're feeling really, really gangsta, as I like to say, you can try it with 1 foot off the ground. That way you're not only working on your balance, but you're working on your strength. All right. Well, that does it for our gait. That's pretty much how it works. You just want to think about the foot. One thing I did forget to mention here is that when you are walking, it's not necessarily just you swinging your arms. You know, when you swing your arms, your torso does rotate. Okay, so because your torso is rotating, you have a counter rotation with your hips. So not only is it important to have strong feet, but also it's important to have a strong core, which we'll be talking about in our next video about running. But in the meantime, if you did enjoy this video, feel free to leave your comments down below. We'd love for you to subscribe so that you can be notified when we answer your next questions related to health and fitness. And of course, keep good company.